Hello, Concrete community. Welcome to the town hall for February 2026. It is cold. I'm here in Buffalo. It is -20 with the wind chilled out here. So we're going to cut over to Andy's and talk about busy core release and some other stuff. And we'll see you again in a minute.
The biggest news this month is that we have released our first release candidate for Concrete 950. By far, the biggest update in this update is our support for the Twig templating language. We are supporting Twig in theme template files, block view templates, authentication templates, elements. Basically, everywhere there is a view layer for Concrete, you can use Twig instead of raw PHP. And, we fought historically against templating languages for a long time, but I think part of the reason for that is just honestly, they used to not look too compelling to work with. They just looked like an extra layer of pain, something new to learn that might not be maintained forever. But Twig has been around for a long time, and there are some really nice aspects to it in terms of developer experience, the ability to define custom functions, extensions, things like that. Really cuts down on the amount of PHP you're going to find in a template, or rather the amount of logic that you're going to find in a template, period. And of course, what's really nice about this is that if you adhere to these templates, it's much, much harder to accidentally make unsanitized output in your templates, which will lead to much more secure sites with custom code and things like that. So definitely check that out. We don't have working examples of that in the core yet, but we do have some open source themes that are using it as we were figuring out how to implement it into our developer experience. So as we get closer to a full 9.5 release, you can expect to see some videos and some documentation coming for that. But that is definitely something new that is in Concrete 9.5. Again, totally optional. Everything is fully backward compatible. This is a fully opt-in approach. But I would definitely encourage you to kick the tires on it. 9.5 also has some additional improvements beyond this. Not a whole lot of new features, but a lot of nice little things. One thing that I know people have been clamoring for years that we have really addressed in this update is we have fixed the bug where page type defaults were not editable by anyone other than the super user, even if those users were added to the access page type defaults permission. This was actually surprisingly difficult to do just due to the way that Concrete's permissions are structured, but we have gotten that done. And we also have a whole bunch of little things, little quality of life improvements here and there. So definitely check that out and give it a try on your sites, definitely in a staging area first. The first release candidate is a perfect time to test whether the upgrade process will go smoothly for you. Again, if there aren't huge changes under the hood other than adding that entirely new Twig system, so you should hopefully find it fairly painless to upgrade to 9.5, but as always, do this on a stage. One last thing that I should mention about 9.5 is this paves the way for us to support more recent PHP versions. So I know there were some dependency update problems that were causing us to have difficulty supporting PHP 8.4 and 8.5 in our Composer installs. And we are ironing out those issues as we speak. So when 9.5 is released, it will allow you to run PHP 8.4 and 8.5 and hopefully beyond without jumping through tons and tons of hoops. So definitely kick the tires on that, and we would much appreciate you checking that out. Please give it a try and let us know what you think. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who helps make Concrete the thriving open source project that it is. We've been around for a long time, and we would not still be here without a open source community that cares. So thank you so much for keeping us honest and keeping us moving. Thanks to everyone who helped with documentation in the last month, and that includes C. Grauer, John the Fish, M. Nakalay, and D. Brewer. And thanks to everyone who submitted GitHub issues in the last month. That includes M. Lokabi, Dia Von Heck, Mel, Unzu, Dimger, Strawtracker, Biplavice, Patej, WTFLM, John the Fish, TM Designs, ESP Tojo, Studio 108, Pixel Hero Media, Pachu97, Heflamy, Yuki Makaru, and Lapin Chat. Again, we could not be here without you, and we really appreciate you keeping us moving and and sticking with us for all this time. Thanks again, and we'll see you next month.
Hello, I'm John the Fish, and welcome to this month's Marketplace News. Our first add-on this month is CSS Flip Cards by Steve Beach. Flip Cards presents an image as a flippable card. You flip the card over and more details appear on the back of the card. Flip Cards is $15 in the marketplace. Now we have Macaru Logs Cleaner. Logs Cleaner is a CLI command which clears the log file. There are many options in the CLI command, including backing up the log to a CSV file, filtering what gets cleared, and a preview of what gets cleared before you actually clear it. Macro Logs Cleaner is $25 in the marketplace. That's all from me, so I'll hand you over to Noor for the rest of the news.
Thank you, John, and hello, Concrete CMS community. Our last package is HTMX integration for Concrete CMS by Konstantin Tarasov. HTMX, if you don't know, is a lightweight alternative to frameworks like React or Vue.js to create modern, highly interactive user interfaces directly in HTML. So this package doesn't do anything by itself, but it gives you all the tools needed to use HTMX in your Concrete websites. You just have to build your blocks or pages on top of it. The marketplace page has all the documentation you need, and you can find 2 example blocks in GitHub to get you started. This package is free in the marketplace. Well, thank you, community. See you next time. Be safe.
So I found a nice new site in the wild, and it's actually a history site for the New York State government. So this website, the New York State Military Museum and Veterans Research Center. This website was done by Web Instinct, so one of our partners that's done many case studies for us. Check them out if you have a chance. But one of the first things that drew me to this website was all of the navigation. Now, if you take a look here, you can go into unit history. And I'm a history buff, so this is why I chose this site, because I really love reading about World War II in specific. So we'll come down here, we'll click on the World War II. It gives you a nice article here with all of the references, and you can click on the histories here and find out all about the different units. So if you're researching your genealogy, or if you're a professional researcher or historian, this is a great place to find some information. One of the other areas that I found very cool was this forts area. Now, it's not often that you see an alphabetical navigation like this, but this is a great way to show this information, because there's so many different forts and places throughout the different wars that we've had here. Very cool. And the last place I'm going to take you to is the flags. So this flag section, pretty cool. You can click on any of the side menus and you find a flag that they were waving here. So this is a really nice site. Nothing about this site assumes that you already know anything about military history. So it invites you to go in, poke around, and connect the dots as how you want. But it's also great for professional historians, professional researchers, teachers, anything around that area. This is a great resource for archives. Thank you so much, Web Instinct. Take care, everyone.
Well, that is it. That is all the news that is fit to print. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for using Concrete. Well, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next month.